6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.
Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey,
Hello.
Katie. How's it going?
It's going good. Messy haired. I didn't really know it till I got here, but that's fine.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. After
I've had a
everything we've
busy
got to
day.
talk about, we're all going to look like we need a shower. There's a lot to talk about today.
That's true. It's true. But we had lunch today with Aunt Sue, so that was fun. Talked lots of true crime. It was very
Yes,
good.
we did. Yes, we did. And of course, there's a lot happening. And one of the cases we're going to talk about tonight is the murder of Christopher Tapp, which is a local, very sad and difficult story for us. And we were talking about that and about how the trial for the man who is charged with killing him is coming up next summer. And it's a trial we're going to cover. And, you know, it should be an interesting one because it's in Las Vegas. And we all know from having watched the Robert Taylor's trial that those trials out of Vegas are something.
They really are.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I mean, just the whole subject matter is really going to be something.
It is. It is. So we'll get to that. I'm going to start with another Idaho situation. This goober right here. This is Ammon Bundy. You may or may not know who Ammon Bundy is. Ammon Bundy he's one of those Bundys, you know, that whole Oregon situation. And there was also a Nevada situation, getting in big fights with the federal government, basically.
Two standoffs with the federal government.
Yeah.
That Ammon Bundy's been involved in. Yeah.
He settled in Idaho, unfortunately for us, and has tried to run for governor a couple times. It's caused a lot of problems, you know, like refusing to leave the courthouse one time, and they had to strap him to a desk chair to wheel him out because he wouldn't go.
The Capitol. It was the Capitol.
The Capitol.
Where he was
That's
demonstrating.
Right, the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of demonstrating, and he's caused a lot of problems. He caused a big problem at his son's football game during COVID because he wouldn't wear a mask, and, you know, he's just not our favorite person. However, something rather hilarious has occurred for him that we felt everyone should get to know about. See, Ammon Bundy owes St. Luke's Health System in Boise quite a lot of money. Originally, he was ordered to pay them $52 million because a few years ago, he accused St. Luke's, it's a hospital, of kidnapping and trafficking children for profit in connection with Child Protective Services. There was this situation with a child that had been taken into child protection custody because of some medical issues, and Ammon Bundy and his thugs camped out in front of the hospital, caused a lot of problems. And
basically shut the hospital down. They had to divert ambulances.
Emergencies.
Yeah.
It was a real dangerous deal. And then he accused the hospital of a bunch of stuff. And so they sued him for defamation, and they won a very large amount of money. Well, Bundy, he took a leave from Idaho because he's not got $52 million to pay St. Luke's.
No.
And he left the state. So he hasn't paid anything. And so now there's been some attempt at a bankruptcy in all of this. And the federal bankruptcy judge named William Thurman ruled that Ammon Bundy now owes St. Luke's Health System and 3 of its workers, because he did name some of the staff, $60.2 million. He has increased it from the $52 million, as he continues to run his mouth and not pay his bills.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, they're never going to get it in a billion years. He just does not have it.
They're never.
But
they're not. But hey, it's keeping him out of Idaho, and that's okay, because we have plenty of our own crazies around. We do not need this guy back causing trouble.
Well, he created a really dangerous situation with the sheriff trying to serve him.
Yes,
to the degree that they didn't dare go onto his property because he had armed guards there, and there were just a lot. He has created a lot of really unsafe situations for other people. A lot.
He definitely has, and I say, stay out of our state, sir.
Please
and
do.
Also,
is he still in Utah?
I am not sure.
He moved to Utah, and we were like, "Oh dear God, Utah cannot take any more trouble. No. They just can't." But here we are.
Apologize in advance, Utah, for our detritus that has traveled to your states. But now this federal bankruptcy judge is like, you can't take out bankruptcy on this. Also, you owe them more money now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kristi, he is one of those stable geniuses. He definitely is.
Yeah, and you're right. Geniuses. Yes, they could garnish his wages, correct? And no, he does not have wages. That's also correct.
Right. Yeah. He's just trying to run from this, and the more he tries to run from it, the worse it gets. So I don't know what that's going to mean for old Ammon Bundy, but just glad he's not here anymore. So anyway, couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. Speaking of, Katie, why don't you tell us what's been going on with Donna Adelson?
Well, I found a video on X of little Miss Donna Sue that I thought you guys might like to see, but I also wanted to let you know that the judge said no. Remember that appeal she tried to file? She needed a new trial because the judge was unfair and the jury was unfair and everybody was unfair.
All the malfeasance.
Yeah. And the judge said, well, no. He said, Judge Averett said, the court concludes the greater amount of credible evidence supports the convictions. Stated succinctly, there is evidence in the record demonstrating overt actions by the defendant in furtherance of the murder-for-hire scheme. Right. He said no. You are guilty, Miss Ma'am. So they do have a hearing in front of the judge on October 14th for a meeting about the case, and then they'll be scheduling sentencing. So that's what's coming up. But I did have a little video for you of Donna right after sentencing while they're transporting her back to the jail. There's no sound on this, but I think you'll get the point.
Oh boy.
Look at the face. Look at the face of the jailer that's pushing the wheelchair. She's like, okay then. Well, here we are. This bitch right here is guilty. And all right, well, let's just get you where you need to go.
I don't know if she thinks that these little tantrums help her, because they do not.
Right? No.
First of all, they're fake. Second of all, she has zero remorse.
No, zero.
For the murder of her ex-son-in-law. And so why does no one's going to buy this, lady. It's not helping you.
No. Well, and now
she's got her old grandma cardigan on again, I see.
Well, and they can treat her like it's different when you are in trial than once you're convicted. Now that she's convicted, it's a little different energy, And they've been, I think, as nice to her as they could be. But yeah, you're a convicted killer. Yeah. Yeah, a little different vibe. But I thought you guys might be a little entertained by that. I was.
That is fairly entertaining. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, I want to take us back a few years to a case that we covered quite a while ago and really hadn't even seen any updates on for a bit. This is that Amtrak murder case out of Colorado.
Yeah.
Now,
and big props to the listener who pointed out that this is going on.
Yes. Someone commented on this case from 2 or 3 years ago now on our YouTube channel, and somebody else said, hey, he's on the Colorado docket. And yes, he is. So this is the murder of Marina Placencia.
Mm-hmm.
And she died on an Amtrak train en route to Colorado.
Yeah.
Her family believed right out the gate that this was a murder committed by her husband at the time. And or boyfriend, husband. Anyway, the guy she was with.
Yeah.
And she had some pretty terrible injuries. And this was really heartbreaking for her family. Well, eventually, the Colorado police came around to the same belief that, yeah, he had killed her. What the doctor determined in September of 2023, because this happened in 2016. So this is an old case. It took clear to 2023 before some movement happened. But the expert who wrote the report about her death is that he believes that she died of suffocation by pressure to her nose and mouth during an assault. So he literally covered her nose and mouth, and she was severely
on the train with
injured.
Their children.
Yes, with their children. So this is Angelo Mantych, and Angelo Mantych is charged with her murder.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to have more of an update for you, but Colorado is being slow. He had a hearing today, and we don't know what happened in that hearing yet. We'll probably know by tomorrow. But he has another hearing on the 3rd, so on Friday. So his case is finally rising to the top in Colorado. And I just wanted to bring your attention to it because it's one we're going to keep a really close eye on. I don't know what's been scheduled or anything. All I know is that he has some hearings this week. We should be able to get hold of some of those filings and have a picture of what's coming now with him. But I hope for Maria's sake that, and for her family's sake, that this is finally going to be trial. Because this has gone on for 9 years. And that's a real long time for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a real scary case, man. What he did to her was horrific. And how long it took the police to take this seriously, that she was murdered, has been a real challenging situation. So
when we first covered this case, her brother reached out to us.
Yes.
And I had a phone conversation with him. And the domestic violence had been horrific forever. This was just the last blow. I mean, it had been going on for a long time.
Yeah. And the story was that she just fell asleep and didn't wake up. And unfortunately, that scenario was believed for quite a few years.
Like, what the hell? How does a healthy mother,
she was
young woman, guys. Just fall asleep on the train and just not wake up, and we just go, oh yeah, that seems right.
Yeah. Just
and not at least try to figure out what was going on.
Right. Absolutely. So finally, I think due 100% to the tenacity of her family, the police looked into this further and have charged him. So hopefully by tomorrow or next week, we're going to have some more information for you about what's coming with his case. It's Colorado. We know how secretive they can be with their stuff. So we're going to do our best, but we do know that there was a hearing that was scheduled for 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. So we're going to stay up on it because we want to see this guy go away. Forever.
Absolutely. Her family needs justice. Her children deserve justice.
They most certainly do. And this man needs to never see the light of day.
Absolutely.
He's an incredibly dangerous person.
Absolutely.
And we just don't want to be living around people like that. Katie, why don't you tell us about what's going on in the murder of Chris Tapp?
Okay. So if you remember Christopher Tapp, and we've talked about this quite a bit, but I'll refresh you. Chris Tapp is from here. He's from Idaho Falls. And he was charged and convicted with the murder of a girl named Angie Dodge. Angie was attacked in her apartment. I believe she was sexually assaulted and murdered. And Chris Tapp was in police custody pretty quickly and was interrogated for a number of hours and confessed. His confession didn't really match the crime, but the police ran with it and they convicted Chris. Chris was fairly low IQ, had been running with some really shitty people, had made some bad decisions, and they just put Chris in prison as quick as they could. Angie's mother, Carol, rest her soul, she passed recently,
Yes, she did.
never believed that it was Chris, ever. And she worked and worked and worked to prove that they had put the wrong man in prison. In fact, she
Alongside
contacted...
Chris's mom. They
Well,
worked together.
They did. First, however, Chris and his mother had a restraining order on Carol Dodge for a while because she
That's
had
right.
hassled them both so much about this because she was determined to get real justice for her daughter. And
Randy,
she
yeah.
knew that the wrong person was in prison. But eventually they worked out their differences and started working together. Carol never stopped. Never stopped. And then something super crazy
Carol
happened.
was a force to be reckoned with. We met her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she
We've
is
met Carol.
a cool lady.
Oh, yeah. A
She was a
powerful,
cool lady.
very powerful lady. Yeah.
She actually lived right down the street from me.
Yeah. Yeah. So eventually, as in like 25 years later, they actually, by chance, caught the real guy with DNA. And that person was living in Caldwell, Idaho. So that's clear out by Boise, out beyond Boise towards Oregon, and arrested him. And then they had to let Chris Tapp go. They
I
negotiated.
think they had already released him, hadn't
Was
they?
he already released? He
I
might have
think he was
been.
already released. That there were a group of judges that were working on
Right.
his case.
Well, I don't know if he was because
Because-
they made him sign a release. Remember, they made him to negotiate with him to exonerate him, which is complete nonsense.
Well,
made
they
him
didn't exonerate him initially. They just released him early,
right,
and
yeah,
then they exonerated
and
him
they
later.
exonerated him. But they
Yeah,
made
it
him
was some
sign
bullshit.
something saying that he would not sue the police department. He was still able to sue the police department because the bullshit with this police department just never ended, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they coerced a
Good old Furman.
confession in the first place with some really shady tactics and then
Yes.
put the wrong person in prison, even though it was really clear that he wasn't the killer, and then had the nerve to sign some kind of bogus document, try and basically coerce him again into signing some kind of bogus document so that he could, get his life back. Anyway, he did get to sue them eventually. The actual perp pled guilty and went to prison. And Chris Tapp lived a few years of happiness. He had quite a bit of money, though. Well, kind of. He was married for a while, then he got divorced, and then while he was separated, his wife was actually killed in a car accident, which was really tragic. And then Chris, but see, Chris was given a shit ton of money, millions of dollars, and he went a little wild with it. And he ended up in Las Vegas at a party. And at that party, he was supposedly, and of course, this is just the story of the actual perp, so we don't know for sure what's true. But the perp claims that Chris was trying to get with his daughter and get her to do cocaine with him. And this guy lost his shit and killed Chris Tapp.
Beat him to death.
Beat him to death. There was a pretty good cover up for a little while from the people that were at the party, the people that organized the party. But eventually, there were charges. So the person that was charged name is Daniel Rodimer. Daniel is a failed politician and a retired pro wrestler. And they have fought and fought and fought in court. In fact, their appeal is going clear to the Nevada Supreme Court, fighting the grand jury indictment, claiming that the police told the grand jury that Rodimer is guilty rather than just answer questions and provide evidence. And so They failed in lower courts. They're now trying to push on. They're going on to the Nevada Supreme Court. There's no evidence that the Nevada Supreme Court will even pick this up and even hear it, so we don't know. It's unlikely that they will. In the meantime, Christopher Tapp's estate has filed a civil suit as well, and the civil suit is against, let's see, it's a wrongful death suit in Clark County. It names Resorts World, John Odom, Odom Racing, and a party promoter named Vegas Nights VIP, along with others. And they're saying that they had inadequate security, they failed to intervene after the assault, and that Odom, who was the host of the party, publicly refused to allow calls to security. They basically just let Chris die because they didn't want to, involve the authorities in their drug-fueled party, so they just let Chris die. Or at least that's what's being claimed. It's very, very sad. So, with all of those things, it's all so gross. So incredibly gross. But what it means basically is that we're still waiting for this to go to trial. Right now it's scheduled for June 2026, but that's still tentative based, on what this Nevada Supreme Court chooses to do and what else could happen with pretrial motions or whatnot. But Rodimer is really fighting hard on this one. I don't think he'll get very far. There were witnesses. His own family actually eventually talked to the police. It's not going to go very far. But imagine being somewhere and watching your dad beat someone to death right in front of you.
So awful.
And Chris wasn't, supposedly, he just invited Rodimer's daughter into a room where he knew they were doing blow. Why did he have his daughter at that party, for one question? I mean,
Right.
That would be my first question. But at any rate, to just lose your shit and beat someone to death, you're not a safe person. You shouldn't be in society if you can't control yourself better than that. But we wanted to bring this up today and just pull it back to the forefront because this is a trial that we will stream and we will keep a close eye on.
Yeah.
We definitely have, an attachment to it. And it is, somebody said, what a tragic life story. Incredibly. Just incredibly.
Man. Talk about can't catch a break, period.
Mm-hmm. And was Chris a saint? No, he was just a human,
Yeah.
Yeah, his poor mother has been down the road with this kid 6 ways to Sunday. It's so sad.
Yeah, she fought and fought to get him out. And then this happens.
Now she's fighting and fighting for justice.
The lawsuit?
Yeah.
Oh, poor lady, my God.
Yeah, well, his estate is, so I'm assuming it's her, but yeah. Incredibly sad story.
Yes, very.
But we will try and pull this one back up to in our periphery and keep a closer eye on it.
Yes, we will. Yes, Sandy is really in quite a mood tonight, isn't she? She keeps trying to lay right on top of my microphone. And if she does that, all you can hear is her purring. You can't even hear me. So I have to move her a little bit to get her. Just scooch over a little bit.
She's trying to purr for her fans. Excuse you.
She is trying to purr for her fans, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is. Okay, let's see. What other updates do we have? Oh, I know. Let's talk about this jackass right here. This is Thomas Jacob Sanford. He is the man who shot up and burned down the Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan on Sunday. He is deceased, but some things are coming out.
Yeah.
Everyone at this point, it's just like everybody wants to, I don't know, try to have some answers for why this is happening, why this happened. So this case has now reached back to Utah. This is a KSL article out of Utah, because there's some question about whether or not he lived in Utah and had some experiences with people of the Mormon church, because the rumors that are happening, and the police haven't confirmed this, but other people who knew him have, is that he hated the Mormon church and that this had something to do with his motive for what he did. So KSL has now talked with a woman named Sandra Winter, and she rented an apartment to Sanford in a place called Jeremy Ranch, Utah. He lived there for about a year. She said he was a really nice guy, that I wouldn't have imagined that he would do anything like this. He never displayed any anger. She said he didn't seem like a person to go over the edge. How many times have we heard that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have recognized him by his actions. She did confirm, however, and this is a story that we've heard, that we've talked about before, that he was dating a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons, and that he wasn't sure about joining the Mormon Church. And obviously there was pressure on the part of the girlfriend to do that. And that's always going to be the case if you're dating a Mormon, just so that you know.
Yeah.
You're raised. The Mormons have a phrase called "every member a missionary," and we were raised from the time that we were tiny children that it was our job to bring more people into the church.
Yeah.
And this woman that he was dating couldn't marry him unless he became a Mormon.
Well, wouldn't. I mean, she could, but she wouldn't have.
Right, but she wouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said that he moved out about 15 years ago and they did not stay in touch. So things went south with the girlfriend and he left. While he was there, he was arrested for driving under the influence. That was in 2010 in Summit County, Utah. And he did plead guilty to impaired driving. And then they kind of talk again about the man running for city council there in Grand Blanc, who talked to him just a few days before the incident, in which he called the Mormon Church the Antichrist and talked about how much he hated Mormons. But they're kind of working backwards through his life and confirming that a lot of these things are the case. So the officials have not released an official motive yet. I just want to say that. Yeah. But the news is finding people who are confirming the things that have been guessed about.
And to be fair, they may never will. He's dead. Yeah, it's not like this is going to go to trial. So
right. They're not, as far as they're concerned, this is mostly done.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad this stuff is coming out to try and make some kind of sense about why anyone would do something like this.
Right. Exactly.
Ugly.
Oh, and with that, Katie, what's going on with Alec Murdaugh?
So not Alec specifically, but his banker. Alec. He was a pretty charismatic guy, and he had his pals and his friends, and he managed to get a lot of people in trouble with him. Remember that Alec is in prison currently for murdering his wife and his son, and a slew of financial crimes against people. He was using his position in his law firm as a way to defraud people right and left. He did some really shitty things. You might know that. Also, there's a brand new Hulu series based on Murdaugh that apparently is really something else. So now his banker has been back in court. This is Russell Lafitte. And he has pled guilty to 8 counts in state court. He's already serving on federal charges, but this is state charges.
Oh, wow.
So this plea was a complex deal with federal prosecutors, and this will wrap up his whole case by the end of October, so that he is just now in prison. So the prosecutor said that he was ensnared by Murdaugh while he was stealing millions from his law firm. Right, ensnared. Or, bribed.
Just birds of a feather, man.
Yeah. Good old boys clubbed together. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, he helped him. So he was a part of some of the schemes. He was a part of defrauding people. So the charges were federal bank and wire fraud charges. And that's what he's looking at. Apparently, he already was convicted in a jury trial, and those were overturned in an appeals court last year. And he was recharged, and now he's pled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was yet another good old boy that was from a really prominent family in that area. His family built the Palmetto State.
Got some problems.
Yep. His family built the Palmetto State Bank.
Oh, really?
And this fool was honored as the Banker of the Year in 2019, all while he was behind the scenes stealing money for
Of
Murdaugh
course.
or helping him
Yeah.
move stolen money and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Murdaugh had the long family history of being the prosecutor
Yeah.
in their county.
Yes.
And then he comes along and he's the biggest felon ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lafitte was the court-appointed safekeeper for some of the more vulnerable clients.
Oh my God.
You know, including those kids that lost their parents. You know, their mom at Murdaugh's
Their
house.
mom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, trash, man.
Mm-hmm.
Taking money from those kids was so disgusting.
Yep. But don't worry, guys. Murdaugh wasn't a bad guy. He was just an addict that had to steal from everybody. Good Lord in heaven. Right.
Please.
5 years, but he'll get out in 1 or 2. He didn't get nearly enough time for the shit that he did. Absolutely. He was complicit.
But
Besides
he's ruined.
helping, he's ruined. Oh, yeah. Absolutely ruined. Yep. Yep. The reason his first trial was overturned, his conviction was overturned, is that the trial judge interviewed a juror during deliberations without lawyers or Lafitte in the room.
What?
Yep.
That's
Why
illegal.
can't South Carolina quit, doing illegal things with the jurors? Why?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you,
hell?
Becky Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Insanity. Yep.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
seems
Gloria
like Murdaugh's
Satterfield,
taking a lot of
spinster.
people down with him.
Yeah, the
Yep.
housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. It's hard to not think that he was involved in her death in some way. Really
Right.
hard to not think.
I mean, I don't think there's anything you could put past him at this point.
No, there's
He
not.
killed his wife and son. I mean, what the hell?
Incredibly dishonest human being. Yeah.
And defrauded people of like money for medical
Yeah.
from accidents and stuff. Like, ugh.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yep. So, at any rate, he's at least being held accountable now. But pretty crazy that this was overturned once because the judge made a huge error of judgment.
Yeah, that is wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whew.
So there you go.
Interesting. All right. Well, another case we've been watching, hoping someday it will go to trial, is Shana Gardener-Fernandez. And Shana Gardener-Fernandez is she's the Stampin' It Up heiress, basically, from Utah.
Is it embarrassing to say that? It feels embarrassing to say that. Stamping it up. Stamping it up. Yeah.
That used to be a big thing. Anyway, it's a whole stamps for scrapbooking kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, she is on trial in a murder for hire against her ex-husband, Jared Bradigan, along with her estranged husband, Mario Fernandez, for orchestrating his shooting death in 2022.
It's so Adelson-esque. This also happened in Florida.
It is. So right now, her defense is trying to get some evidence blocked from being released before her trial. I don't know if is this ever going to go to trial? Like every time they have a trial date, then more shit happens.
Right. They were supposed to go to trial this fall, and now it's not till next summer. It's crazy.
Yeah. So the evidence that they don't want released is tattoo photographs and communications from Gardner in jail. And they're saying these things are personal and private and not relevant to the charges against her. They say that it could impact the jury selection process.
What?
The prosecutors actually didn't even object to this. Like, it's not anything they're too concerned about. The judge said they would hold those particular materials from the public until the jury begins deliberations. In any penalty phase, should one be required, or the jury is discharged. So she did win this one. So who knows? I don't know. Was it more talking about, code word funeral potatoes, which was what she and her co-conspirator called their plot? I have no idea.
I don't know, but I can't wait for this trial. Cannot wait.
Yeah. So the police have released the body cam footage and 911 calls relating to his murder.
Mm-hmm.
So those are out there. We haven't shared those yet, but I think we better.
Is it a tattoo of funeral potatoes? I guess that's the real question.
Is it? And, you know, we've talked about this. That's a big Mormon thing, funeral potatoes. We've learned that it is kind of a Southern thing as well. Yeah, the tattoo thing really cracks me up. Like, what is this a tattoo of? And
Irene
who
said,
is it
not if
on?
the tattoo says I did it. I don't know, but she's fully sleeved on one arm.
Is she? Is she
Mhm.
on one arm? Oh, okay. Well, now I want to know. We'll have to do some research and see if we can find pictures of the tattoo. But that's where they're at. So they're still fighting this kind of stuff. And maybe someday she'll go to trial.
I mean, one of their biggest witnesses is a girl that was in her ward that she became friends with.
Yeah.
That's where the funeral potato references went back and forth with.
Right. Because she ask her, do you know a guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine if someone asked you that? Do you know a guy? A guy? What do you mean? I know quite a few guys. What do you mean?
Right.
You know, a guy. You know a guy? You know what I
I
mean?
think what
Wink,
we've
wink, wink.
learned from all of these cases is if someone asks you if they know a guy, you never talk to them again. Because
You just dial 911 immediately.
yeah,
Just call
because
the cops.
you do not want to be a co-conspirator.
No, you don't. And if somebody says, do you know a guy? You know what they're asking.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you tell them? You say, go to dialahitman.com.
That's correct.
That's
Yep.
what you tell them. You go
Hireahitman.com. Yes.
Hireahitman.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll go straight to the FBI and that'll just be dealt with and you won't have any trouble. So, yeah, you just hand out that website.
Yep.
You know, because anybody with a half a brain cell knows that you can't just hire a hitman on the internet without getting arrested. But some people still don't.
And it tracks back to if you see something, say something. If someone tells you that they're thinking about committing murder and you don't do anything about it, you could be held
Hello,
accountable.
911?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most definitely. Right. Yeah. And yeah, who do you think I am? Right.
Right.
You think I would know? How would I know a guy? Like, what? Have you met my cats? I don't know a guy.
Let me thumb through my True Crime Squad files and see who's out.
Right. Yeah. Can you imagine just asking someone, hey, you know a guy? You know?
No.
You know what I mean? If I want
Who are you running with that you think they would?
Husband,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Wild. But so eventually, someday, she's going to go to trial and we're going to stream that trial. So
Indeed.
it's a Florida trial. So good news. We'll be able to stream the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Katie, tell us what's going on in Oakley, Carlson.
I'm so happy to talk about this that I am bursting at the seams. We just talked about Oakley a couple of weeks ago in our missing children's update. Oakley, of course, is a little girl from Grays Harbor, Washington, who disappeared. And there has been absolutely nothing done about it for years and years.
4 years.
Well, meet Methany. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Her name is Jordan Bowers. This is Oakley Carlson's mother.
Egg donor at this point.
Yes. Well, Methany just got out of prison. So that's part of this update, is that she just got out of prison on some fraud charges. And, you know, she's just in and out of prison constantly. This was for identity theft. She had 4 counts of identity theft. Well, since she got out, authorities are saying they are considering a non-body homicide charge in this case. Are they finally gonna charge these motherfuckers? Are they?
Yeah. Please.
So Andrew Carlson is her father, and he also needs to be charged. But this is the first time in a long time that there has been any indication that the authorities are going to do anything at all. So my fingers and toes are crossed that there will finally be some justice for Oakley. Please charge this dumb bitch and get her off the streets forever. Come on. Give Oakley some justice. Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's all
about this missing child.
Yep. It's not a lot of info, but it's some really exciting info.
It's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good.
I'll say this too, while we're at it.
Mm-hmm.
If she ever gets charges, I'm so buying a wig. That's all.
Okay. I got you. Awesome. Can't wait.
Yes.
Speaking of someone else's trial, maybe someday will finally fucking start. Brian Walsh.
Yes.
So we know Brian Walsh got a little stabby stab recently and had to go to the hospital overnight. He is headed to trial for the murder of his wife, Anna Walsh. But we've had a little wrench in the situation, and that is good old Michael Proctor, Massachusetts State Police Trooper.
Thanks, Proctor, yet again.
Of Karen Reed fame.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, they're evaluating his cases because he's in deep shit. And so here's what they're trying to do right now. Prosecutors are asking a judge to bar any reference to the discipline against Michael Proctor in the trial. I mean, if it doesn't affect the actual evidence they have against Brian Walsh, I mean, whatever. They need to charge him. They need to try him.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. But that's how they're trying to deal with this, is that the jury just doesn't get to know about the discipline against him. Of course, the defense is like, hell no. This could be the thing that wins us our case.
Mm-hmm.
So the trial is supposed to begin on October 20th. We've really been wondering if it's going to, because of his injury, and then also because of all the stuff that's come out about Michael Proctor. Judge hasn't ruled on that yet, but that's what's going on. Is the prosecution is just trying to keep the discipline information out so that the jury doesn't muddle the case for the jury.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that it would matter. Like, I don't think that there's anything about Proctor other than his bad behavior that is directly related to the evidence in this case. That was really the Karen Reed case. So we'll see what the judge does with it.
Yep.
Yes, Kristi, the picture of the woman standing next to Brian Walsh is pretty funny. Pretty funny. I'm not sure what she's thinking about this whole situation. Yeah. And, Joelle says, I hate to say this, they need to let it in. It's true that it could certainly be appeal material.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm just not sure they have any evidence that specifically is malfeasance on the part of Michael Proctor in this investigation.
Right, exactly that.
And that's where it might not be relevant. I don't know. We'll see what the judge thinks. Yeah, look at those handcuffs. Also, look at how this goober is holding his arms. Why is he holding his wrists like this? He is just such a douchebag. Every picture we have of him, he's
always a douchebag, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what his behavior is like on the stand.
I'm thinking arrogant as fuck, man. Thinking Robert Tejas times 11. Yeah, he does seem to think he's real special.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens there, but that's what's happening right now, and hopefully this doesn't slow down the trial beginning on the 20th.
Right.
But you just never know in these situations.
No, you don't, and it could happen.
It could.
Freaking Proctor, this is why you can't let corrupt cops just go, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, you can't.
If he had ever been disciplined, ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. If anybody had ever reined that dude in.
Yeah.
Too little, too late.
But he was just allowed to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, he was, until, yikes.
Yeah.
Katie, what about Ariel, Isabella, Kalua?
Okay, this is super interesting. So you guys remember, I hope, the Ariel Sellers / Isabella Kalua case. This is a child in Hawaii that was in the foster system. We just talked about her recently as well, but she was in the foster system. She and her siblings were adopted by Sunny and Lahua Kalua. And then one morning, the Kaluas called the police and said, "We just woke up and Ariel is gone." As they do. And then, of course, as it
Sure.
turned out, after
6-year-olds just wander away in the night.
absolutely, there was a huge manhunt. The people on their island did everything they could to find this child. And as the state typically does when one child is missing, they take custody of the other kids, at least temporarily. And the other kids let them know in short order that the Kaluas had killed her.
Yeah.
She was kind of, I think, like the child they called it. She was the one. She was the kid that was
They locked her in a
always
dog kennel at night.
beat up.
I mean,
Yep.
hideous shit.
Uh,
Hideous.
why did they lock her in a dog kennel at night? Because their favorite form of punishment was withholding food. And so she wasn't being fed very often. So at night, she was sneaking out of bed and eating because she was a child and she was hungry.
Right.
So to
These
combat that,
people
they
were
locked her
allowed
in a
to
dog crate,
adopt children.
like 5 children.
God. Ugh.
And Sonny had priors, and they were allowed to adopt all these children.
Yeah. The
So,
whole thing is so sketchy.
right. Well, they also they didn't give family the first right of refusal.
Right.
They allowed the termination of parental rights and the adoption to happen way faster than it normally happens. And there's talk that it's because of nepotism in family services, that they had
Yeah.
family members that were a part of the process that got it expedited for them. It is all really shady and sucky. The reason that she died is because they were locking her in a dog crate at night in the bathroom, and that wasn't good enough because she was crying all night, which was a real problem for people who wanted to sleep. So they started putting duct tape over her little mouth, and she was suffocated that way. The kids sang like canaries pretty quick, and these two absolute monsters were arrested. That was during COVID. I believe this was in 2021. They have still not been
It was right
to
around Oakley
trial.
Carlson.
Yes, it
Similar
was
timing.
right about the same time. Yeah, still haven't been to trial. There have been a billion delays. They have just malingered around the process until it's just insanity. But one of the things that's happened is that the community wants to know how the hell this happened. They're upset with with I want to say family and consumer sciences. That's completely wrong. They're upset with CPS, right? They want to know, how did this happen? How were these people allowed to adopt these kids? How did you not know what was going on? Part of the reason people were upset is because they still had one child that was a foster child, Oakley's youngest sibling, that was, I believe, 2. And when they called and reported Oakley missing, she'd been already gone for a couple of months. The reason they did it then is because the following week they were supposed to go into court and finalize the adoption of the baby, of the youngest. And they would have expected all of those children to be there.
Right.
So they had to do that then. Of course, they didn't get to adopt the youngest, but people were saying, so, like, obviously they'd already adopted these kids, so most of that supervision had ended with the foster system, except for there was still one foster child in that home. And there was seemingly no supervision whatsoever.
Well, and they were in like an adoptive process, which means that they because I've done this.
Right.
Now every state is different, but when you're leading up to adoption, they meet with you very regularly. We had very regular visits with our son's caseworker leading up to the adoption.
Yeah.
Once the adoption is done, they hand you their file and say, "This is your kid now," and you don't see them again.
Yeah.
But somebody should have been checking on that 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And did they not notice that little Isabella was missing at that time? Like,
No.
and somebody asked, why do people adopt kids if they don't like kids? It's money.
Mm-hmm.
It's money. They would have been receiving money for each one of those children when they were in foster care. But when you adopt, and of course, I'm Idaho, this is Hawaii, it can be different. But for us, we were able to negotiate keeping his Medicaid and keeping his monthly stipend through the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
And so these kids, a lot of them were quite young, would have brought in a significant amount of income for them for, 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people do this. I mean, to adopt 5 children is a lot.
Yep.
We did it,
lot.
because we wanted help to help support him, but it certainly wasn't paying our bills with one child.
Right.
But with 5 children, that's a
Right.
different story.
This reeks of the Wests in California.
It does. It does.
It's the same kind of thing. And now they are saying they are going to trial in February, so we'll see. But that's not the reason that we're talking about them tonight. The reason we're talking about them is because the Supreme Court in Hawaii has ruled that the Department of Family Services has to release her entire file. They don't do that. They do require that department to release a summary of that child about what happened, but they don't have to release all the dirty details of their entire history with that department. But there have been some press there that have been suing and pushing for that because the public wants to know where this all went wrong and what the responsibility on the state is and what was happening. So the last time there was a suit for this was back in the 90s, and the state said no. The courts said no. This time they said, yeah, it is a 975-page file. They have redacted anything that included names and details of the other children and abuses they may have suffered. Horrifying. But they're saying no. They're being given 30 days. The state is giving the Department of Family Services and the Kaluas 30 days to file an objection if they're going to, that they'll consider. But otherwise, that's finally going to get released, and hopefully we'll get a better picture of how in the world this happened, that this lack of supervision happened to the point that they could abuse her this way. I'm sure there's a lot of redactions, yeah. But it's a huge ruling. It's a very big deal. So Public First is who filed to unseal these things. This DHS has really danced around their responsibility. So they provided a brief summary in 2023 of some other cases that were requested, but they did not they didn't provide a summary of Isabella's because they said she hadn't been declared dead yet.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Even though her
She's
parents
just
were on
walking
trial.
Out of the waves? Right. Where the hell?
Right. Even though her, adoptive parents were sitting in jail charged with murder. So then the judge said, okay, fine. Yeah, she's dead. So we'll declare her dead. And then they said they still weren't going to release the files because the judge didn't specify that she died of abuse. So they didn't have any obligation to.
Are you kidding me? Her adoptive parents are headed to trial for her murder.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Yep. So then it went in front of a family court judge who said, well, I mean, yeah, the public does have an interest in knowing what the state did, but the records would have to be so heavily redacted that the public might be left with a distorted picture of what happened. So no, they shouldn't be released. So they went on to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, no. Even if it's a redacted record, it still has information. It has to be released. They've sure fought hard to not have to release any of this information.
And a distorted view? What is the view other than this child is dead?
Yeah.
And these people did it. Like, what else?
Yeah.
How would that be distorted? What else could it possibly be?
Mm-hmm.
If there was any other scenario that was possible, don't you think it would have come out between 2021 and now?
Right. It's so disgusting. So the argument from Public First is that the death of any child by parents the DHS recommended deserves the hard light of public scrutiny to assess what went wrong and how to fix it.
Yes.
Correct. Thank you. And the Supreme Court said, that's true. We agree.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what's up. Now, DHS has responded. Awesome. They said they respect the decision of the Hawaii Supreme Court, and they'll work with the court to implement the decision. So it'll be a while before those things are actually released. But yeah, Paula
can still appeal it, can't they?
They can, but they're probably not going to be successful at this point.
No, they're not.
Paula says, do you think they're trying to hide their incompetence? I absolutely do. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think some heads will roll from this. How gross to be like, okay, well, we're not going to release it because she hasn't been declared dead. Okay, well, she has been declared dead now, but they didn't say, the judge didn't say specifically it was for abuse, so we're still not going to release those. Oh, fuck
That's
off. Are you
really
kidding me?
disgusting.
It's all really gross.
Heads
But
need to roll for this, so
yeah,
get ready.
so hopefully the judges are all done with kicking the can down the road and they're really going to go to trial in February. We will be keeping a close eye on this. I have never
Mhm.
seen a trial out of Hawaii. I have no idea if it will be streamed. I'll bet you it's not.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep, if it is, we're streaming it. But
Hell yeah.
we've been on this since she went missing.
We have, and that's fantastic news. I'm so
Hmm.
happy that there are people out there fighting the good fight for this little girl.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
It seemed like in Washington, so many people were trying, but nothing
Hmm.
legally was happening.
Yeah.
At least here, there is legally stuff happening.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. We'll take it. So
And
there you have it.
Steph pointed out also that some of those children might have qualified for SSI, which would have been more income for the
That's
Kaluas.
a great point.
Possibly, it depends because SSI for children, the dollar amount is income dependent, and so maybe they would get it and maybe they wouldn't. It would depend
Hmm.
on what else they had as income, but that's possible as well. Um, as a social
My
worker, I have worked
understanding
with
is that
families like
both
that.
of their full-time job was to stay home and take care of the kids.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was with 5 children like that.
Hmm.
I've seen families like that as a social worker myself, and it's hideous. The
Hmm.
system should not allow anyone to adopt that many children for that very reason. There should be a safeguard.
Right. Well, to adopt kids to just be your full-time job shouldn't
Yeah,
happen.
no.
Yep.
Right. Foster parents can't get the checks, only parents. Right.
Hmm.
Right. Right. When children are in foster care, if they are on SSI, their SSI ceases while they're in foster care.
Yeah.
And then it can start back up once they're adopted. Katie, I think our last one. What's going on with Barry Morphew?
Oh, Barry F. Morphew has bonded out. How, you ask?
What? How?
His supporters paid for it.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Not at all.
Who are these morons who are supporting him?
Well, his children are a part of it. They
Ugh.
waited for him with the bail bondsman. But yes, see, there was some sort of crowdfunding effort to come up with the funds to bail him out, and that has happened. And he's out.
Wow.
So he had to post
Wow.
his bond was 3 million, so he had to post 300,000, and that was raised through the public.
Yeah.
I
Dear
mean,
God, who are these people?
yeah. Now, he's under house arrest. He has to wear an ankle monitor. He has to abstain from drugs and alcohol and surrender his passport. It's sick.
This man has gotten away with this for way too fucking long.
Hmm.
Come on, Colorado.
Absolutely. Now, he is due back in court here in a day or two. This is what the filing is. This is a piece of it. David M. Beller of Wretched Cornfield PC and Jane Fisher, I don't know, Byralson of Fisher and Byralson LLC, on half of Barry L. Morphew. It's L. See, I thought it was F. I think it's F. This is a typo.
Me too.
It's a typo.
Yeah.
And moves to change their status designation from alternate defense counsel to privately retained counsel. So obviously, they've also come up with enough money to
hire this counsel.
On today's date, supporters of Mr. Morphew posted bond on his behalf. As such, Mr. Morphew will exhaust all resources and pay for his representation moving forward. Should his status change in the future, Mr. Morphew will comply with all requirements of the Chief Justice Directive. Who the hell is paying for this? Are you kidding me?
Why would you use your own hard-earned money to help this dude?
I have no idea.
Why?
No idea whatsoever. I understand innocent until proven guilty, of course. But God damn it. Yeah.
Considering what he is accused of
Yep.
and the evidence that they have against him, why would you use your money for this reason?
Mm-hmm.
That is so bizarre.
If the money runs out, I imagine he'll have to kick over to public defenders.
He'll have to declare indigency, and it'll depend on if those attorneys can continue on as public defenders or if they have to go to somebody else. Yeah.
Yep. Which will delay things significantly if that happens. Or maybe
Mhm.
he'll just go pro se. I'd be here for that. I'd really be here for that.
He is arrogant enough to give
Mhm.
it the old Lori Vallow try.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we forgot Travis Decker.
Oh, Travis Decker. Shit. That's weird. Oh, for some reason my picture of him is not here. Well, Travis Decker's body has, we've talked about that it has been
Mhm.
found. And they have confirmed now with DNA and all that
Mhm.
jazz that it is, in fact, him.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, his body was so decayed that we may never know cause of death,
Mhm.
manner of death, time of death, are
Yeah.
all things that we will likely never know.
He was very near the crime scene, however,
he was
just down a
very near the
ravine. Is
crime
that right?
scene. Yeah, it is. And I mean, how likely is it that it's anything other than he killed his daughters and then he ran off down the ravine and killed himself?
Mhm.
Like, I can't imagine that he hung around for a while.
No.
And he was so close to the crime scene that it's, you can pretty well assume that he just took his own life right after he killed his girls. But
I'm sure he did. I've always thought he
the
died the
coroner's come
same
out and
day.
basically said there's not enough left of him for us to really be able to determine those answers.
Yeah.
We simply know that he is deceased and his body has been identified. So
I'm
at
just
least
so
for
glad.
the girl's mother,
Yes.
this can be over. And
Mhm.
not that it's ever over when you lose your children, but
No.
she doesn't have to live in fear that this asshole's out there somewhere.
Mhm. She can finally close the door on that. Yeah, within a mile. I think so long to find him because of the terrain. I mean, he
Yeah.
was
He
over the
was
side
down
of a
in a
ravine.
ravine. It was really rugged
Mhm.
terrain. But yeah, it does make you wonder why so long.
Yeah.
But it sounded like it's pretty rugged
Yeah.
area there.
I am
But
so glad that's over. Oh,
yeah, I am too. I'm just grateful for the children's family
yeah.
that now they know the full story.
Yeah. Little Emmanuel, his parents have been to court and pled not guilty.
And there had been some negotiation going on, which
Mhm.
made it look like maybe there was going to be some kind of a plea, and nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Guess they're just going to hedge their bets on the fact that there's no body.
But when there's no body of a tiny little guy like Emmanuel, I don't think that does them good in court.
No. Well, no, because someone has to be
Harrow,
responsible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone has to be
Yeah.
responsible for where that child is, and his parents are the ones.
Yes. If there is no body, why the fuck is there no body? Where is
Right.
that tiny child?
Yep. Yeah.
I agree, Teresa. I do think that it was predation in that
Oh, for sure.
situation,
Yeah.
which is a horrible thought.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think that's everything we've got.
Oh, we have a humdinger for you guys tomorrow. I just can't
We
even
do
tell
have a
you.
humdinger for you guys tomorrow.
And I also have
It's
a
an Idaho
hilarious
case.
song for you.
Oh my God. Yes, you do. And it's an Idaho case, so you know it's a humdinger because we can't help but just have crazy shit from this state.
Yeah.
So we will be talking about that tomorrow. We'll be back at 3 p.m. Mountain for our last live of the week. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for joining us if you're here live or if you're here after the fact. We appreciate you all so much. We released 2 new Patreons last night.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you about, well, the most unusual heist I've ever heard of. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. And Katie, got into some culty shit. You know how we like some culty shit.
We like
Pretty
getting into culty shit. We're not going to start one and we're not going to join one, but we will definitely talk about them.
We already left one. That's good enough. We don't need any more of that. So, if you are a patron, please be sure to go and avail yourself of those. If you're not, go to patreon.com, find True Crime Squad, and guess what? You can become a patron and get 2 bonus episodes a month. And we really work to come up with some fun, interesting things for you. Sometimes we cover stuff that we can't cover on the podcast. A lot of the culty stuff we cover over there because we don't want any cult members beating us up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Culty shit. Yeah, we need a sticker.
Be a good
You're
one.
right.
Yeah.
So
Barb asked earlier in the show if we'd ever released a "Are you done yet?" or "Are you done?" sticker and stuff. We haven't. That's one we should put on our list.
But we need to.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to get back to that list.
Mm-hmm.
We get distracted by, true crime and forget to go back to the merch list.
And we've been summering.
We have been summering. Oh my God.
Winter's going to hit soon enough. and then we'll be in our houses.
I am ready.
For winter? Stop talking right now, this very minute.
I am.
We're going to have 6 more
really
weeks of
tired
a
summer.
beautiful fall. 6 more weeks of fall. 6 more weeks.
But not.
Yes,
You
we
have
are.
lived in Idaho your entire life.
I have spoken. 6 more weeks. I said what I said.
Delusional. That's all I have to say.
We'll see.
And with that, we are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Season 6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.